What's up, guys? Today I wanted to talk about if you've lost someone to a mental health battle, whether it's a loved one or a friend, to make sure to not internalize it or blame yourself. Some thoughts on that. Um, you know, my first thought is make sure to acknowledge what you're feeling, right? I think often, the advice that uh, all of us give each other is we can't blame ourselves um, for our loved ones or our friends passing. Uh, but you know, I think it's important to also acknowledge if you do have those feelings. That's it's important to feel those feelings, right? And just sit in them. Because as a loved one or as a best friend, you do take a certain responsibility or a certain amount of ownership for the well-being of your best friend or your loved one. Speaking from my own experience, um, PG, uh, you know, I was texting him 4 months before he passed. Um, 3 months before he passed. Um, and then the weekend that he passed, um, actually, I was in Boston with my senior year roommates doing a reunion. Um, and, you know, we were staying at a hotel, and so, we actually invited several people that um, were friends of ours during our time in college. And some of those people were, current students, people that were, freshmen, sophomores, or juniors when we were seniors. Um, and we invited 3 or 4 people. Um, and it's hard for me to not think about, you know, why didn't I think of inviting PG within that? Um, and thinking if I had, things might have been different. It's hard not to. It's hard not to do that. Um, and with TK, I was texting him 2 months before he passed. And we were talking about life and how he was doing and things of that nature. I think, as I said before, as a best friend or if you're a loved one, it's almost impossible to not get into those headspaces at certain points. And so I think it's just important to just let yourself be in that. Once you've let yourself be in that for a little bit, I think it's also at that point important to acknowledge, what you control, right? And all we control is our, you know, our actions, our communications, um, and that's the limit of what we control, right? We can't what others do um, is unfortunately outside of our wheelhouse. So, I think it's important to acknowledge that if you um, did whatever you could in terms of communicating that I'm here for you, recommending professional resources, things of that nature. That's really that's you've done your job, and um, and it sucks to kind of put it in those terms, but I think it's important to acknowledge that all we can control is our communications, our actions, and that's it. Um, and I guess that would go into my third point. Um, if you're fortunate enough to not have lost anyone to mental health, um, but people um, that are, you know, suffering from mental health troubles. I think it's important. Again, obviously again, just control what you can control and communicate to that person that, um, you know, that you empathize with, the voices in their heads or the struggles that they're going through, and that you're always there, that you can't maybe always uh, relate, but that you'll do whatever is in your power to help them out. Recommend professional resources, and then just check in on their well-being. That's really all we can do and all we can ask from ourselves. Um, so I hope this has been helpful. I know it's an interesting topic, but uh, talking to a lot of friends, I think this is something that many people who have lost a loved one to mental health at one point or another, unfortunately can't help but to blame, themselves in some part. Um, and I hope you're able to, uh, you know, do that in a healthy manner if you do that. Thank you guys.